Hi everyone, good to be back. And today I want to talk to you about humility and its impact on leadership. This has been one of my subjects that has been close to me. But today let me start with a story. One hot afternoon on a beach, people noticed a young girl drowning. They quickly went in and rescued her. The little girl, however, was unconscious. An old man from a nearby cottage hurriedly reached the spot. As he was about to hold the girl, a guy stepped up and loudly asked the people surrounding the girl to step aside, including the old man. "I was trained to do CPR. Stay out of this. Let me do it," the guy said. The old man stood up and stepped aside and watched quietly as the young guy performed CPR for the girl. Within a minute, the little girl regained consciousness. The people around them were relieved and began applauding. The old man looked very happy and gratefully congratulated the guy. After a couple of hours, the guy who had saved the girl suddenly felt fatigue and experienced difficulty in breathing and quickly became unconscious. A few minutes later, he woke up in an ambulance, rushing him to the nearest hospital. Beside him was sitting the old man he had seen earlier at the beach, now checking his pulse. The old man had done CPR on him while he was unconscious. This time he learned that the old man was a doctor. "Why didn't you tell me? You are a doctor," he asked. The doctor just smiled and answered, "It doesn't matter. A precious life was in danger. We both had the same goal, and that was to save the girl. Nothing else can surpass the feeling that you have when you save another life." So let's go back in time to understand humility, basis what Plato wrote in Apology. One day Socrates and his friends Chaerephon visited the oracle at Delphi. In the story, Chaerephon asked the oracle if there was anyone wiser than Socrates. The oracle answered that Socrates was the wisest person. Socrates himself was puzzled by this answer, since so many people in the community were well known for their extensive knowledge and wisdom, and all the while Socrates claimed that he lacked knowledge and wisdom. After this incident, Socrates went back home and thought on how to figure out to investigate this and get to the bottom of this puzzle. He interviewed a series of politicians, poets, and craftsmen. His investigation revealed that those who claim to have knowledge either do not really know of the things that they claim to know, or else know far less than they proclaim to know. The most knowledgeable of the bunch were the craftsmen, who knew about their craft, but they claimed to know things far beyond the scope of their expertise. Socrates, we are told, neither suffered the vice of claiming to know things that he did not know, nor the vice of claiming to have wisdom when he did not have wisdom. So the way I personally think about humility is a person being self-aware of themselves. This helps them to appreciate others' strengths and contribution and be open to new ideas and feedback. These traits encourage a culture of openness, trust, and recognition, which is important precursors to success. Leaders who are humble have a better grasp on organizational needs and make better informed decisions. They are also able to foster a culture of development with their employees by legitimizing learning and personal development. While we are all drawn towards charismatic leaders, and over the past few decades, we have overtly focused on self-esteem and self-confidence, we teach our youngsters to always portray a sense of self-esteem and spend precious little time on teaching about humility. Now, I'm not saying that these should be at odds, but they need to be complementing each other. The reality is that you will need to have confidence to be humble. But what we need is the balance between self-esteem and self-belief and the need for humility. We should not encourage people and youngsters to show unconditional positivity and optimism at the expense of any criticism or doubt. Today, research is proving that people with greater humility are better learners, better decision makers, and problem solvers. The trait is especially important for leaders. There is enough evidence that displays humility can improve strategic thinking and boost the performance of colleagues across the organization. In a recent study that I read about, that was conducted in the US health service sector, they found that the number of leaders who were humble cultivated greater work engagement and job satisfaction among their employees. This was directly attributed to improved communication among team members, since they tend to give employees the confidence to disagree with their decisions. The leader is willing to admit their own limits, which encourages the team members to admit their own flaws. All of this creates a more honest and constructive workplace. It is important for us to understand why humility is important even for our own personal growth. When we start our career with humility, we may not have the strength, we may not have started out the strongest. But by acknowledging the gaps in our knowledge or skill set and then correcting them, we start to make significant improvements over the course of our career. Whereas for colleagues and people who are less humble or less humble leaders are most likely to plateau beyond a point in time, since neither are they open to any feedback, nor will people around them want to offer any. The other thing a lot of us tend to fear is by expressing humility, it might undermine our authority. To avoid this, it is important to remember that you have to go about it in the right way. Blunt admissions of ignorance on an important issue and explicitly saying, "I don't know," will definitely harm you. If, however, you express it as a question, requesting for more information, and you genuinely are interested in understanding it, then the people around you will understand and appreciate the genuine desire to know more and respect your humility. If you still doubt humility's power, think of one of those characters, the inspirational characters in your own life. The chances are that you will realize those individuals showed a lot of humility. Follow them, follow their lead, improve your own thinking and your own leadership style. If you do that, I'm sure you will really do well. I wish you all the very best, and thank you so much for taking the time out. Please do provide feedback, and have a great day ahead.